Welcome to our Day Zero E3 podcast. What is that? I'm going to call it Day Zero Part 1, because there'll be a Day Zero Part 2 tomorrow. We'll talk about Sony and Ubisoft and Microsoft and all that stuff. But today, we're just going to talk about EA and Bethesda, because that's all that's happened so far.
Two of the best conferences EA has ever seen.
E3.
You said
EA.
Shut up! Anyways, my name is Nick Henderson. We have a full table here tonight, so we are splitting the mics among more people than you would normally see on the show. But to my left is Bob Webb.
Yes.
Hello, Bob.
Hi. It's been a while since I've actually been on a show.
Yeah. You've been making games.
Yeah. Making games is hard.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not doing it, but we'll be playing your game this week. In fact, we've already played a little bit of it. We're very excited about it. Refactor?
Yep.
Ready? You're gonna show it on Wednesday?
Yeah. Wednesday we'll be showing it at E3.
So that's exciting.
Calm down, Bob. It's okay.
It's
Maintain.
exhausting. It's just that PTSD is starting to build up. It's just I'm working on it so much that whenever I start talking about it, I'm just like, oh,
I thought you were gonna say like Stockholm syndrome was taking over.
The game is holding you hostage.
I can't talk bad about it.
To Bob's left, we have Tim. Tim, you may know him as Chai Tai.
Yes, hello.
Good to see all of you again.
We've been staying with Chai Tai for a few years now when we come to E3. So first of all, Chai, thank you for putting up with us while we're here.
That is no problem.
And thank you for also happening to be a fan of video games and talking about them with us. We appreciate that.
Oh, I try not to do it without being a total dick. So
that's more than can be said for most people on this podcast. Nolan, hello, Nolan.
Is that like a jab at me?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said most people in this podcast. It was jamming everybody.
Okay.
it personal.
Okay.
Everybody.
Okay. What's up, Nick?
Nolan's here.
Yep.
It's E3.
Yep. EA?
EA.
E3?
EA.
Okay.
There's way too many E's going on.
And Bethesda's E3 event was BE3.
B3.
B3?
Unless it's like B3PO?
because it's a
B3?
Yeah.
Beads.
I'm here. E3 2016.
To my right are the Chris's.
Hey.
Hello.
Crispy and Chris Davis.
Yep.
Yes.
Chris Davis is working on videos right now.
Not really.
You should be.
So
Get back to work!
where did that guy in the the BE3 after party get that turkey leg? I did not see turkey legs.
I don't know.
I saw In and Out.
No.
He just brought it with him, right?
I'm pretty sure that was at the after party. I mean, we can't confirm or deny we didn't stay for the conference or the after party. But
we stayed for half of the conference.
Pretty much.
God,
We saw it.
fuck it.
Inglorious.
First of all,
There's a certain special something about watching a press conference on your cell phone on the sidewalk outside the building it's happening in.
In the line,
We could hear the audio from the building and from the phone.
Before it streamed to the phone.
it was pretty ridiculous. So first of all, Bethesda last year had a pretty impressive showing at E3.
Yeah, for sure.
Their conference was pretty amazing, and we had some of the best seats in the house. This year, I think they made first of all made a terrible mistake in announcing that this was going to be also during their after party. They were going to have Blink-182 doing a concert right after the conference, which inevitably led to a bunch of people showing up for the concert.
Dude, there were so many like ladies in their mid-40s.
Right?
And I was like, wait, you like Bethesda too?
A lot of blinkies.
Yeah, I think we've also unofficially dubbed them Blinkies, which just sounds like Blankies to me. But yeah, so they announced that publicly, and suddenly a bunch of people show up wanting to see this concert. A lot of people who probably had no interest in even attending the Bethesda conference, so it was a little bit of a shit show, and we actually didn't end up getting in. So
we got really close.
We got real close.
And the lady was like looking at the line of people who didn't have tickets, and she was like, wait, does anybody in this line have tickets? And nobody said anything. And she was like, we're at capacity. That's what happened.
She's like, we might take 100 people for the after party. And we were like,
I was like,
peace. See ya.
We literally like turned.
We're going to yakisoba. I'm not gonna remember the real name.
I don't know if you saw, but that lady gave me like a pretty dirty look on the way out too.
Really?
She's like,
Was she
'cause
racist?
No, because he was like, we may be able to get 100 of you in. I was like, yeah, you maybe, but you said that when we were maybe able to get in about 3 hours ago. And she was like,
Blacklist.
So that was fun. That was a fun way to spend the afternoon. But hey, whatever. EA did their conference. Bethesda did their conference. Some things were announced. So let's talk. Hey, there's a cat in the room. Hello,
thank you, Bob.
Hello, cat man.
Ugh. Cat buttholes, man.
Am I right?
Yeah, he jumped up in Bob's lap, and all of a sudden the tail goes whoop. And like the problem is, this cat's black,
Nature's
and so it's
Whoa!
the fur on the cat is black.
It's very contrasting. To
Yeah, so the butthole's like white though. So it's like, oh, Christy's looking at it.
I'm corroborating your story. You're right.
Okay, it's
white
just
butthole.
yeah.
Oh my god.
I can't go anywhere. I'm like crushed up against this table. See, I told you, I'm gonna sit on the fucking bed.
Let's start with EA. That was the first thing that happened today.
Yes.
We chose not to go to it,
We chose not to go
and
to
we
it.
chose wisely.
Yes.
We had a great venue.
I don't know. We missed that awesome FIFA.
Oh, you're right. We did.
demonstration
We did.
Yeah, so EA is always kind of a shit show at E3, so that was part of our decision to not attend. There was the optimism of, hey, maybe they're gonna show more Mass Effect.
Yep.
Maybe they're gonna show that Visceral game. That Star Wars Visceral game.
Oh my god, they showed almost like 3 full seconds of it.
Yeah, so like years past, they've done some pretty terrible things, like show no footage whatsoever of the games we're talking about.
Yep.
They've shown behind the scenes footage. It's like the one thing I want to see more than the actual game itself is people making the game.
Of course. Of course.
So is this the EA cycle now? Every other year it's going to be them not showing anything. Then the next year they show like everything.
They didn't really show much last year either. Like out of all the conferences, they show the least. So
Well, they showed Battlefront, for example.
all right, well let's start from the top.
Okay.
They opened with Titanfall.
Yep. Titanfall 2.
2.
Which we kind of saw.
Who here loved Titanfall?
Dude, it was a cool idea. And
The
it was
Chris's,
fun.
of course.
What the fuck does that mean? What the fuck does that mean?
You should answer that question yourself.
Would you like to join me in giving him the bird?
No, why don't you go fuck yourself?
Wait, Chris.
All right, come on, focus. Titanfall. Hey, Titanfall.
Dude, Titanfall was a really cool idea, and for like the 2 weeks that it had a community playing it, it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, it didn't have any content. It didn't really have that much support, and it
That's
just faded away really
That's
quickly.
the main reason I played it. I played a bit. I played it. Oh,
Busted.
God. Oh god.
Busted, cat.
Cat, stop it.
What are you doing?
He's attacking things. That's what happened to our air mattress.
But you have your answer.
Yeah. So Titanfall, I played a bit of the beta, and I really did enjoy it. But the problem was, I knew going into the game that that's all it was. And I don't often to never play games when they are multiplayer only.
Sure.
Like, I would much rather prefer at least some single-player element to the game, you know, some story-based thing. Titanfall was just a bunch of shooting mechs.
Yeah, but it was really good at that.
It was really good at that, but also Star Wars Battlefront was really good at feeling like a Star Wars combat game, but it felt empty. It felt soulless because there was no context. Like there was no story. It's like shipping a game these days with no single player campaign.
Isn't the
And
end of the
charging
world?
full
It's not
price.
the end of the end of the world.
No.
It's.
I mean, Titanfall did have a story. It had a campaign. It was just a series of multiplayer matches as story is dropped upon you.
The story was dropped from the
the
heavens.
laziest way to put a story in. Just like
No,
in
it
between
pretty much is.
multiplayer
Yeah.
matches, and the Titans came
It
from
was
beyond. Like,
It was a story mode that you could literally
What the hell?
not touch your controller and still complete.
All right, someone's mic is really loud.
I think a bunch of people were talking.
we were yelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Titanfall 2
Yep.
has a single player campaign.
So-
I think that's like the biggest.
So I am interested.
Yes, I am also interested.
That gameplay trailer looked pretty sweet.
They showed off some new mechanics that looked really fucking cool.
It also looked a little like they were trying to capture that what's the word like that attachment between the person and his like non-person counter but the human and non-human counterpart, like a little bit of the Last Guardian, like caring for your Titan.
I think it's going a little far.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think of it more...
People care about their cars.
I think of it more...
But the car doesn't usually
like,
care back.
Unless you're a dragon and you fuck it.
It's like Lethal Weapon, but if Mel Gibson climbed inside of Danny Glover and piloted him. What?
That's racist.
How is that racist?
Climb inside of that took a weird turn real fast.
I mean, that's kind of what's going on. It's like a whole buddy
The only reason I brought that up is because like the Titan was like that was the Titan talking, right?
Yeah.
So it has like some kind of AI. It was talking about his old pilot and well, I
mean they have AIs built into them.
Yeah.
Like when you exit the mech, when you drop a Titan.
So Titan
it'll fight for you.
So Titanfall 2
was purely like a game mechanic before. Now that's actually like.
But they're fleshing it out.
But Titanfall 2 is basically the game.
So now you can get out of your Titan and you can have it go to the store and buy groceries for you.
Dude, why not?
Yeah. Or it's more like, Knight Rider if Knight Rider was a giant robot.
There you go.
Or,
oh my
Short
God.
Circuit if he was still killing
Wouldn't it be
robots.
great? Wouldn't it be great if the Titan had Feeney's voice? I'm not sure about that, Michael. Prepare for Titanfall.
Oh my God.
So the other new thing was the swords.
Yeah.
Swords.
I like that.
Yeah, and grappling hooks.
Yeah.
Grappling hooks.
Dude, this is the only problem with this is really making me want a Gundam game.
Yep.
Like fucking.
Don't hope too hard.
I know.
I've been down that road. It's really dark. It goes nowhere.
It's sad.
It's just I see like mechs and now like swords and grapplings and like I'm like, oh, burning fists. Can we get some burning?
There's about three
they
good
said
Gundam games.
They said there's two new types of Titan. One's called like a Fire Titan or something. It has like some kind of flame-based attack, and then there's a Ion Titan which uses
there's a laser Titan. Yeah.
So it just turns off your mech? Is that all it does?
I can't.
And then there's
I don't know what it's.
Weren't you the first one to vote in their poll?
Well, yeah, they had that the Titanfall Twitter account put up a poll that was like, which new Titan do you want to pilot day one? The Fire Titan or the Laser Titan? I'm like, fuck it, Laser Titan. And it said 100% Laser Titan, one vote. Okay.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see the Titanfall footage. I think because y'all were watching it and I wasn't, or something. I don't remember.
Yeah.
And we didn't watch it after we got back tonight.
Where was Nolan?
I don't know. That's a good question.
We were on the other side of the table.
Okay, that might have been it. And so the Titan's alive. That his AI.
The AI,
like semi-sentient.
Mm-hmm.
So his old pilot dies, and then the AI finds you like close to death or something, and like cradles you in his arms and saves you.
What I took from that was it was like. Because there was one pilot holding another pilot, and I think the guy who was dying was the original pilot.
Yeah.
And then
And he gave him his ring, and
yeah.
So are they?
They gave him his like power coin, and he put it in his morpher, and was like Dragon Sword.
Are they aping Zo 2 then?
I hope so.
I was thinking more Gundam.
So can
you
you wax your Titan to make it shiny?
Oh boy.
You know the coolest like piece of gameplay the coolest piece of gameplay I saw in the trailer, they're on like these like floating. I don't know if it was like in a ship or in like some tall skyscraper or something, but like the Titan like picked you, the player, up.
Yeah.
Threw you out of a window.
He's like, trust me, and he just fucking whips.
What a dick!
He throws him across a canyon, and then like as he's coming across the other side, there's like a wall. He throws you, and then all of a sudden you start parkouring across the wall and like jumping off the wall. Like so,
it'd be great if the Titans all go haywire and they're just fighting each other by throwing humans at each other. Like human fight.
15 love.
Oh man! So yeah, Titanfall 2 looks cool. I think that's playable.
One hopes.
So we'll try and get our hands on that if we can. What else happened at EA?
We got the Mass Effect Andromeda first look footage.
Yeah.
And we can first look forward to seeing more this fall.
That right there was the moment I was like, God, I'm glad I didn't go to this fucking conference. I would have like
Biggest
I would have like punched the person in front of me just indiscriminately, just like fuck.
Yeah.
It was the worst.
That being said, some of the clips in there look pretty good.
There's potential there.
Some
The
of the clips-
Mako clips when they're driving around the planet.
I am excited to see the Mako return.
The planets also look to be a little bit more not dead like they were in the first Mass Effect. When
not
you're
procedurally generated.
exploring
Those
around.
were basically pointless planets.
There was that
just
cool
resources.
one where it was like a jungle planet that had that like dragon thing
Thresher
flying
ball.
around.
Yeah.
No, not the big monster, but like the kind of weird like undulating thing that was flying through the air. Remember that?
From the, I guess I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sounds
It's
like a
it's
Dark
only in there
Souls
for like a
boss.
second, but like it looks cool. But there was a Thresher ball. Yes.
Oh,
I don't know. The footage looked cool. The characters that we saw looked pretty cool. I mean,
There's that really hot Asari.
there's that Hotasar.
Hot ass. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, there was that Asari. There was also what I am presuming to be maybe the female version of the hero
Player
at the
character.
end.
Mm-hmm.
Looks cool.
the facial animation looked pretty good.
Facial animations looked cool.
Have they confirmed? Are you going to be able to play other races besides human?
I don't think they've said anything about that
No.
yet. They're kind of ducking that question.
They're kind of ducking all
The
questions.
only alien races they've shown thus far, other than like the enemies, are an Asari and a Krogan.
Yeah.
So
What? No Hanar?
no, no Blasto for you. No Biotic God. No Garrus right now. But
No
who
Elcor.
knows?
Oh.
God, we need some Elcor.
Right?
Play
Elcor and N7 armor.
See now you're thinking like that sounds cool. So yeah, I mean, there's really not much to say in regards to the Mass Effect Andromeda footage because that was pretty brief. It got me really excited to see more Mass Effect Andromeda, but who the fuck knows? It looks like Gamescom is probably pretty likely venue for them to drop more of that.
PAX West, especially since they always had the BioWare booth and all that.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see more of that in the coming months. What else happened at EA? FIFA?
Oh yeah. Please
Oh,
not.
they have a story mode in FIFA.
Oh,
Yeah.
With a player character named Mike Hunt. What was it?
Something like that.
Hunter.
I think it was Mike Hunter or something.
Mike Hunt.
Yeah.
There was that one funny moment when the feed stuttered. We were trying to watch it. This was me and Chris were separated. And he's like, oh, when's he coming back? And he comes back and goes, the most excited man on the sidelines, the manager.
Oh man, Alex Hunter. There we go.
All right. Yeah.
Close enough.
So yeah, that happened.
Evidently, Madden may have happened.
That was the second moment where I was like, God, I'm glad I didn't go to this conference.
Yeah.
And then the Star Wars thing happened, where they showed off all the different ways they're trying to milk
All the
Star
Star
Wars.
Wars.
Yeah.
All the Star
And you know, secretly, everyone really just wants to see what the fuck Amy Hennig is doing because that's the one that shows potential.
Yep.
Yeah.
We got a few peeks at the Star Wars Battlefront
DLCs that they're working
DLCs. Respawn is working on something that we can presume has something to do with Jedis because they showed two people
Motion
pretending to
capture.
fight with lightsabers.
Yep.
Oh, that footage was great too. It's just two dudes like hitting sticks together, and that one guy getting like really
Yeah.
intense.
Like the director is like, yeah.
okay, now hit your sticks together. Yeah, okay, good.
They showed that mobile game
was
where
great.
the climax
Galaxy
is
of Heroes?
R2-D2 that's just climaxing.
Yeah, just like
Oh my god!
all over those
we're,
battle droids.
We're watching the footage. we're watching the footage, and Crispy says, "What did you say right before that footage showed?"
We were talking about how they were like they were doing all these different Star Wars projects, and I was like, yeah, we're going full bukkake on Star
Yeah,
Wars.
I'm just gonna go full bukkake
And
on
2
the Star
seconds
Wars.
later.
Literally, not even 2 seconds later, just this footage of R2-D2 spraying oil all over us.
Like the droids or something.
Oh my god! You couldn't have timed it better. It was perfect. What else? Oh yeah, well, so we did get like a 3-second
Smidgen of a glimpse.
of a glimpse, and I was fully erect watching that
It was
3-second
cool.
footage.
Yeah.
That's what the
pretty
knocking
cool.
sound on the table was.
I
Yes.
do kind of like, I don't know if you guys know this, but I felt like that character was kind of like androgynous. You don't know if it's a male or female.
Yeah.
It could be either. So
Yeah,
if there's some
it
potential
looked
there for
very,
like whatever kind of story we can get.
Yeah,
But why
And it didn't immediately look like a Jedi, which is really
Yeah,
exciting.
that's true,
Like,
too.
But why does every important Star Wars character star on a sand planet?
Yeah, that was.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Because you gotta
I wouldn't say every important Star Wars character. I'd say every protagonist Star Wars character
Yeah.
starts on some kind of sand planet. I wonder if this is Tatooine or Jakku, or if it's like some new sand planet. It turns out the Outer Rim.
We really don't need a third.
Well, it was
Sand planet.
it was classic Star Destroyers in the background, so
Yeah.
it sounds like it's classic trilogy stuff.
Well, it was
so.
also the Imperial crest and like classic TIE fighter. So
Yeah.
it's obviously like Rebellion era.
But man, that looked fucking gorgeous, and it looked cool, and it made me realize like or just kind of think about the potential. Amy Hennig of Uncharted and
Jade Raymond's also working on that game.
Jade Raymond's working on it as well. So I don't know. It looked super cool, but only 4 or 5 seconds of that before they snatched it out of us. And then what did they show after that?
They showed that indie game.
Fee.
Or
Yes.
Faye.
Oh,
Faye.
Iron?
It appears to be kind of a 3D.
Do you
take
think it's
on
Iron?
Ori and the Blind Forest?
Well,
maybe?
I heard it described as like
F.I., not F.E.
a third-person action Ori and the Blind Forest meets like Journey.
Yeah.
oh.
But that's
A little bit like because you have the whole callback and response kind of thing going on. So you're like holla, and you get holla back.
Yeah, was that?
Because I
Holler-
ain't no
holler
back
back, y'all.
Faye.
So I'm sure that'll probably be on the show floor. I'm guessing
Maybe, yeah.
in the Microsoft booth. So I think that. Did I forget anything big?
Yeah, one game.
Fill me in.
The one that Joseph won.
Battlefield
Oh,
1.
Battlefield, yeah.
Which I don't think I really buy this is in-game footage, as no one really should buy that from coming from anyone at these shows. But what they showed looked awesome. I think we can agree on that.
Yeah,
Like,
it did look like it promising aspects. I don't believe that was gameplay footage, like it said at the beginning of it.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff that they showed in there, just the different components of war. They showed tank combat and horse versus train and
Triplanes.
the dog fights are real.
Dude, the dog
like,
fighting
potentially could be a lot of fun. Like Chai had mentioned, like the possibility. Maybe it was Chai. I can't remember. Someone mentioned
you would need, if it's a World War I plane, you would need a pilot, but then you
and
also need a gunner.
Yeah, so that could be a lot of fun. Like just because that's something that's always kind of been, even in Battlefront.
So this information may be incorrect, but so after EA's press conference ended, they did like an hour-long stream of Battlefield 1 multiplayer.
Yeah.
Evidently, the Zeppelins you see in the game function similar to the carriers in Battlefield 2142.
That means nothing to me.
And they're basically giant flying aircraft carriers that you have to work as a team to destroy.
Okay.
Oh.
So,
Well, that trying to taking down those blimps looked really cool.
Just board them and light a cigarette.
Done.
oh, the huge manatee.
What?
It's a meme.
The humanity.
Uh.
The huge
What if?
manatee.
What if you can go board the Zeppelin and it's kind of like Star Wars Battlefront where you can like board the other space station?
Battlefront 2?
Yeah, and then like while you're fighting, you notice like someone like their top player, you just knock them off the freaking blimp. You're like, no ticket.
Can we not talk about boarding Zeppelins? It just makes me sad because of the Saboteur, which is so good.
It's pretty.
It was okay.
And that's EA.
Shut
Yeah.
your mouths. Anyways,
That was EA.
that was EA. It was pretty.
Pretty okay?
Pretty.
Pretty okay not being there.
Really?
I
That
don't
was
even-
it, huh?
That was it. That was. I mean.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we skipped a shit ton of sports stuff. but-
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was, I was going for a good 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Just glad Pele wasn't there.
No, you got a manager instead of Pele, so not even a player.
Yeah, but he was only there for 2 minutes, so...
Thank God.
posted,
So they
25.
did the whole London offsite thing specifically so that they'd have a sympathetic audience
They could have someone who
for the FIFA announcement, right?
They cut the audio and switched it to the over there. Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about Bethesda.
Ooh.
I'm glad we made it to that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Well, it was really warm when we got there, and then we moved up a couple feet and we're under a tree,
Yep,
and it was nice and shady, and it cooled off, and we felt better.
But then it got cold. It
So
was a little chilly towards the
I don't know what
end.
the inside looked
I was
like.
sweating
but the
balls.
sidewalk was-
Sweating balls at the beginning. Took off my long sleeve shirt. Took the bag back to the car. Came back. We moved forward. It got cool. And then I was cold.
And that was Bethesda.
And then we left. So yeah, Bethesda was a bit of a shit show this year in terms of their planning. You know, a lot of it I think had to do with security. I think they clamped down security following the events this morning and whatnot. But it was crazy. But let's talk about what they announced. They kicked things off with Quake Champions.
Quake Champions.
Quake Champions, which it turns out is being developed by who, Chris Davis?
Saber Interactive.
Saber Interactive.
And what else have they developed?
Inversion.
Not a whole lot.
Oh, no.
They
You read a
did
whole
Inversion.
list earlier.
So-
You had a whole list. I want you to go through it again.
And I've played almost all of them. Go.
Okay. Well, I do remember one of their first projects was Time Shift.
Oh, yeah,
Terrible.
that was a good game.
Great game.
I think
No,
that
it wasn't
It's
very
like
good
Singularity, but really bad.
yeah, exactly. Singularity is only like
They do not have a celebrate. I kind of edited what I said to y'all. Let me go through the full list here.
Oh god.
Their first title was in 2003. It was called Will Rock.
Faster than this, please.
Time Shift.
Terrible.
Battle Los Angeles.
Wait,
Played
the
it.
tie-in for
Remember that game?
movie?
It was based on the movie. It was
That
terrible.
was pretty bad.
Oh my God.
Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary.
Didn't have to make it.
Didn't have to, but
It
it
was a
was
port.
Yeah, just poured it.
Inversion. God
Really
Mode,
bad.
R.I.P.D. the game.
God, Jesus Christ.
Halo. They worked on the Master Chief Collection.
Which was a shit
They
show.
worked on Halo Online, which is for China. So
Oh, and then Quake Champions.
yeah, they just added that like the last hour.
So they're basically the Mercury Steam of shooters.
Oh my
I think that's a little rude.
how rude.
I think there's a lot worse studios that could. Be
Man,
called
I hope we're not
Mercury
like
Steam.
I hope we just deflated all of your
Are people-
Quake hype.
Oh man.
Like I was excited to know like, oh, there's a new Quake. This is not gameplay, but I'm excited to see it. And then that just was like, oh.
They didn't show too much. I was thinking it was going to be like Quake 3 Arena, which is that kind of...
Yeah, they just showed like character
Yeah,
model
the
shooting.
arena
Yeah.
match. Yeah.
we
I
know.
think they mentioned it was going to be like an arena-based game.
What did they
I
say
don't know
about
if the-
frame rate? Something like
Oh,
it's-
they said that it was going to be 120 hertz and unlocked frame rate.
But I don't think they specified.
No, they didn't specify. They just said it's going to be unlocked. So, 35?
They like that word, right?
Yeah.
Unlocked.
Yeah. 140 hertz? 144 hertz would make
I mean,
sense.
that's
but-
just a response to the PC community controversy around Doom's release. So.
Yeah, we all remember that.
Well, we'll see what
people that
happens.
played, yes.
That's another game that we're gonna probably see at QuakeCon. QuakeCon.
Yep.
QuakeCon later this year.
So that happened.
What was the next thing we saw?
Oh,
They jumped straight from that into
Elder Scrolls Legends.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's the
They
card
did.
game.
Yeah. Elder Scrolls Legends. They spent a lot of time on that. Looks like a card game.
Mm-hmm.
And then they went
The
into
Skyrim HD.
Yep.
Skyrim
So
HD.
Skyrim HD. How do we feel about that?
volumetric
More
God
Skyrim.
rays,
Yep,
guys.
they did say that.
I don't even know what that means, but I'm excited.
I mean,
Let's ask Bob. What does volumetric God rays mean?
It just means that it's like the lighting
vignetting,
is
like the
based on like an actual volume as opposed to just a little. Like, it's so you can actually it's like with the like volumetric fog or volumetric light is like it's more of a 3D environmental lighting as opposed to just kind of like your.
And as opposed to
point
them just
directional
putting a
stuff.
light beam here
Yeah.
because it's supposed to go there, the computer dynamically
Yeah.
determines the size of the light, the length, the intensity of it.
They'll
yeah.
do it based off like the trees and,
Yeah.
and everything going on.
So
They'll be
anyway,
lighting
I'm not surprised this happened. That's
It was rumored.
But I'm not. I wouldn't if a year ago someone told me, hey, they're gonna put out I wouldn't be surprised. I mean,
No.
it's something easy for them to do. It gives people who maybe didn't get a chance to play it, or they only played it on the 360 and it ran like poo poo butt, and now they have a chance to play it on more modern hardware at better quality, and plus the mod integration on consoles.
I mean, I don't know if I'm really itching to go back and play Skyrim again, but
Well-
Skyrim is a beautiful game, and Fallout 4 is a beautiful game. I wouldn't mind seeing Skyrim looking a little more like my Fallout.
And it's probably gonna have all the expansion content that was released and all that. And
We hope.
it's an easy cash grab for them to fund their next project. So
Sure.
Well, it also is because they did say that the console versions will now support mods, similar to what they're doing for Fallout.
well, didn't they try to introduce mod support to the 360 version?
I think
wanna
that
say they
might have
did.
been brought up at one point, but I think it could just kind of was horribly implemented and didn't work out. I think, if I recall, maybe.
the PS3 version of Skyrim
No, Xbox
or
360.
Xbox
Yeah.
One.
And if I remember, you were saying that actually PC players might be able to get the game for free under certain circumstances.
Yeah, they tweeted out that if you own Skyrim and all the DLCs or Skyrim Legendary Edition on Steam already, they just upgrade you to the new version when it comes out.
That's kind of nice.
But on Steam.
Yeah.
And you have to either have the Legendary Edition or the original with all the DLC.
Oh, I only have the original, not the DLC.
Okay.
Maybe the Steam sale coming up. Maybe,
But
the
it might
DLC
be
will
cheaper for you to just buy the DLC.
That's what I was saying.
and
Maybe
then-
the Steam sale coming up this summer, the DLC might be cheap, and I can grab it
DLC's
all.
pretty cheap. I think there's only 3.
One of them was like $5.
Do you have
the
to-
home building one was
Yeah.
$5.
Hearth.
Yeah.
Hearth.
I will look into that.
Fire or whatever.
Does that include the horse armor?
I don't know, maybe.
So yeah, that
Alright.
was that.
So after they talked about Skyrim, they went to
Elder Scrolls Online.
God damn
No,
it! I don't
they-
want to talk about Elder Scrolls.
Before that,
The only thing we need to talk about is that they beat the shit out of
That
crabs.
one lady who was fucking losing
Oh
her
my God.
mind
Yeah,
when they
ridiculous.
started talking about Elder Scrolls Online.
that was
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Lady, please.
Oh yeah, he got really quiet for a second, and then someone, and I think was it Pete Hines? I don't know.
Someone.
He
I don't
said
remember.
something about Elder Scrolls Online again in the middle of a sentence, and then you just hear someone go, "Fuck yeah!" like really? Elder Scrolls! Oh my Everybody aboard! You scared the cat! You scared the cat!
Oh, the cat's gone.
You won't see the cat again.
We'll never see the cat again.
So anyway, but before they talked about ESO,
Oh god, look what you've done to yourself. They're highlighting the shit out of that.
don't care. It was funny.
before ESO, we got to learn how wrong Chris Davis was.
Oh yeah.
So wrong,
true.
wasn't
He was 100% adamant the fact that Arcane was working on Prey 2, and they weren't.
They were working on a Prey game.
Well, they were working
No,
on a
you
game
said very
called
specifically
Prey.
Prey 2.
No, he was saying Prey 2 as in TOO.
No.
Like they're working on it also.
They're working on Prey, comma,
They-
2.
Out loud, he said they are working on Prey number 2.
Hashtag Chris Davis was wrong.
Well, this was the second
Prey
Prey
sequel.
game, so technically I'm right.
This is another game that happens to be called Prey.
Okay, first of all, before we talk about how, yes, I am excited for this game, can we talk about what exactly defines a Prey game? Has anyone here...
The title Prey, apparently.
Has anyone else in this room played Prey?
Aliens.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, Aliens. I think that's it.
That's the only theme running between all three games right now.
3 games.
Well, the one that wasn't released.
I mean, let's be fair. We don't know that there are aliens in this game. There's
No, we
some
do.
kind of like...
Yeah.
It could be a ghost. It could be
No.
space ghosts.
They say it's
It could be a
aliens.
ghost.
And in the thing, they said it
They
was
think
aliens.
it's aliens. And then at the end, they find out, oh my god, it's actually a portal to hell.
or they're Native Americans.
and then you were playing Doom the whole time.
You're playing Doom.
Well, fuck yeah!
I mean,
No, that's
seriously.
it. It's just built on an Indian burial ground. Like that's.
Oh yeah, the
tying
space
together.
station
Yeah.
is built on it.
Yeah.
It hovers over
Space
an
right
Indian
over
burial
it.
ground. Yeah. That's pretty good, actually. Someone write that down.
So anyway, a very cinematic trailer, very confusing.
Little Groundhog's Day at first.
Yeah, just a guy living the same day over and over. The only thing changing was his eyes were getting bloodier every day.
Well, that one eye was.
Yeah,
I think the other one
He didn't
was
seem to mind either. He's just like, oh,
He seemed
okay.
to be. He seemed to be
deteriorating.
He was in some kind of experiment. He was being experimented on in some way. And then at the very, I guess this came after all the snippets of gameplay or whatever. It showed like
Himself.
himself.
Yeah,
Talk-
and like a
like,
hologram
The
kind
person
of.
talking to him was himself, I guess, which was kind of a weird mindfuck moment. But yeah, like, I think the
So very similar to the Prey 2 we used to know, right?
no. So part of me is very excited because it's first of all it's Arcane.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Arcane has proven that they know how to fucking make.
Some of the
First
early
person
rumors of this that have come out in the past week or so have suggested that the game is basically Arcane's version of System Shock.
Yeah. So like thematically speaking, it looks like it has a lot in common with something like System Shock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tonally, I mean.
Definitely.
That'd be
I
pretty
definitely
cool.
got the Dead Space vibes when they were
Yeah.
showing a lot of that kind of weird horror stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So,
I like that the main character's last name is Yu. It's a really meta surname to give a player character.
It's true.
No,
Yeah.
that's not the first time either. Like real quick, like the main characters of Persona games are never named, but when they gave him an official name, his name was You.
But I would be interested to see if they even try to tie it in back to the
Dude,
original.
doesn't
title.
seem like
the
they
whole
are at
reason they're
all.
calling it Prey and just leaving it at that is because they're completely redefining what it means to call your game Prey. Like, it's a reboot. It's a straight
Like
up
the,
reboot.
it's so weird that they're doing this. So they it's like, okay, so Prey is a game that came out in 2007.
2006 or something.
Isn't it like
So-
launch window?
yeah.
for-
It was a while ago.
Yeah.
And then they're like, let's make a sequel. And they start working on it, and then that falls through. And they're like, all right, what should we do with this sequel? How about we drop off the 2 and we make a completely different game?
Yeah, but
Like,
they-
it's just so weird
It would
that-
kind of make sense if they were positioning it to be like the next entry in the Prey saga, but like they're not even acknowledging that there was another
Yeah.
game called Prey.
Yeah.
Well, the original
I
didn't
guess.
do that well.
No, it definitely did.
So I mean, why do they even need the name?
So, yeah,
is the
like,
point.
it's
Like,
because they got an
they could have
IP.
probably
I think,
come
yeah,
up
they
with a
acquired
much
the
better
They
title.
acquired this IP, and they acquired everything that had been worked on, and they threw all that away.
Yeah.
And they made something different, and they just kept the name.
It's probably easier to find.
This-
That
I'll
was,
tell-
that
I'll
was
tell
the
you-
code name for the project, and then it's like, oh god, E3's next week. All right, just
I mean,
fuck it, call it Prey.
No, I have a feeling this has more to do with the fact that coming out of E3 2011 or 12, whatever the fuck it was when they first showed us that game, there was a lot of positive buzz around it.
Yeah.
And leading up to its cancellation, quote unquote, and all stuff, it just turned into like a snowball of like Prey became this like big thing that everybody was like, what's happening with Prey? That game looks really cool. What the fuck? And it's almost like we could scrap Prey and just call it something entirely different, or we could keep it and people would be like, holy shit, Prey is back! And it's just like they're just they're capitalizing on
I understand where
previous
you're coming from.
Yeah.
The problem is, I still want that game that we're never going to get.
yeah.
and they're building on hype for a demo for a game that never came out, as opposed to the one Prey game that did come out that nobody gave a shit about.
Yeah.
That, by the way, the first Prey represents the worst collector's edition purchasing decision I ever made in my life.
Nice.
But
That'll
an
teach you.
interesting thing about
Yeah.
Prey is that Chris Avellone is working on it.
Yes. Go on.
He's done a bunch of games like Divinity: Original Sin,
Yes.
Pillars of Eternity, Torment's Tide Numera, Wasteland 2. He's done a lot of fucking
And
RPGs.
a lot of those games.
Planescape Torment.
Yeah, tactical RPGs.
Yeah, those are
Nazi-
very far
Coast
outside
War
of.
2, for example.
Knights of the Old Republic too.
Makes me wonder if there's some kind of twist on the gameplay here that we don't know about yet. Because
We didn't see any gameplay.
well, I mean,
We have no idea.
We saw him
Yeah.
shooting
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
with a shotgun.
Like, what if that's like the cinematic angle, and then when you play, it's actually much slower? And
Well, the
tactical?
thing is,
You know-
that was a very, very cinematic gameplay perspective.
So
Yeah.
yeah, sure. You know what? That whole like sequence where he's shooting the alien with the shotgun. and
It
everything?
really reminded me of The Bureau, like the first.
I
Bureau.
thought that
Yeah.
too.
Come
Yeah.
on, don't.
You know what I was gonna say?
The
It
black
reminded
goo.
me of the symbiote from the Venom symbiote
Yeah.
from Spider-Man.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
that
too.
too.
Venom.
I said that.
Very
Yeah.
much Venom
Yeah.
vibes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which, you know what? That's cool.
That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Because it's you know, one of the reasons I liked Dead Space so much is because their take on alien life was like very
Maybe
I think
it's
it was
them.
unexpected. So maybe if they do something equally creative here in terms of like how they imagine their alien life forms, like it'd be really
As long
cool.
as it's not Grey Goo. If it's Grey Goo, I'm gonna be a little annoyed.
Gray goo.
Nano machines.
Nano.
Oh,
machines,
oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
There
yeah.
actually is a game called Grey Goo.
Yeah. Yeah.
There. So yeah, part of me is sad that we won't get that Prey 2 game ever. But at the same time, like I'm super happy that it's confirmed that Arcane is working on this because Arcane, just directly following this, proved once again that Arcane reminded us that Arcane makes some really creative shit. What's going on? Is the cat over there?
Yep.
He's
Pulling
getting-
on cables.
Yeah. It's okay. See you good.
Don't
We're good.
don't look at it in the brown eye.
So anyway,
hey,
in other news besides Prey, we got some updates on Fallout Shelter.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be new.
Why are they
Expanded
continuing?
I don't know. So yeah, so they're releasing a bunch of new content for it.
They're like adding missions.
Yeah, they're adding so the problem with Fallout Shelter. I played it last E3. I played it right after the
was announced, yeah.
announced, and it was a lot of fun. But it immediately just dissolves into this boring pile of shit.
Just a management game.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there's no goals. There's as soon as you get going, the nothing. Like, there's nothing to work to.
It's an
really
ant
game.
farm. You can't win an ant farm.
Yeah.
It was really there to help build hype for Fallout.
No,
4.
definitely, and it did a good job of that.
So it kind of boggles my mind that they're continuing to work on it.
It boggles my mind that it took them a year to come out with actual shit.
Or that.
But anyway, so now they are releasing actual, there's new locations, there's new enemy types, there's new people, there's like missions.
There's actual quests you can go on.
Yeah, quests, and they're also releasing it on PC.
Yeah.
So,
What were they saying about, like, in Fallout 4 itself, they're adding the ability to build vaults now, too?
oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah. You guys didn't see
I
that?
missed that part.
Yeah, they're, like, you can build a vault in Fallout 4 now and, like, get people in it and then run experiments and shit on them.
Really?
And they show a shot that looks like Fallout Shelter, like the ant farm shot,
yeah.
but it's in the Fallout 4
I think
engine.
my feed was buffering when that happened. Okay.
I didn't catch the whole thing because we were in the car.
yeah,
but, like,
we were driving at the
yeah,
time.
that
Yeah.
looked fucking crazy. And then right after that, they announced the Nuka-Cola world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they've evidently got 3 new DLC packs coming.
For Fallout 4?
Yeah, for Fallout 4.
Yeah.
4th is going to be entitled Contraptions and releases next week.
Oh.
In July, it's the Vault Tech Workshop, which will allow players to build their own vaults using the same settlement building functionality that Fallout 4 launched with. And then finally, in August, they're going to release Nuka World, and they don't have specifics.
You know, I should probably go back and actually play Fallout 4.
Probably. It's a pretty good game.
Yeah, I only played it for like 13 hours, and then something else came out. I feel so bad about that.
That happens.
Anyways,
Also, VR version of Fallout 4.
yeah, VR version of Fallout 4.
And Doom.
Oh, announced for the HTC Vive
Yes.
specifically.
We,
Not
we,
Oculus.
we saw something in the convention center today when we went to pick up our badges that was VR related.
yeah.
That I don't know if we can say that yet.
We'll wait.
say
We'll
it.
wait. I'd rather wait. Be safe.
Yeah.
We'll wait until we see it.
We saw something that was surprising in the convention hall today.
Yeah, when we were
that's
picking up our
VR
badges,
related. That maybe we'll talk about over the week.
Um,
I certainly want to play it.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't help it. It was Bill and Ted. Bill and Ted VR.
game.
I will say just really fast. It's not really big news, but for the next week, the first level of Doom will be available as a demo download.
That's true.
Oh my god, that was really cool until it was like for a week, and I was like, "You're killing me here."
The funny thing is like, let's bring back the demo, so we're giving you the first level for a week, even though most of you are here in LA and away from your consoles for a week.
I think that was more for people at home.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. It's just funny that he's like talking to the people who
He's like,
probably
"Are we
can't
great?"
actually play it.
It's also 6 gigs.
Wow, for the first level.
Well, they gotta get the engine in there and all that.
God
so.
damn.
It's a lot of assets.
That's
to
a
get
lot.
back in there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Damn, girls got
He's like, that's why they didn't have a demo before.
All right. What else?
Last thing,
Bethesda?
really, Bethesda is Dishonored 2.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was that was kind of funny. You remember Crispy? Because when they announced it for a second, there was actually silence.
Oh yeah,
Because they're like-
people were like, wait.
What was Dishonored?
He's like, we announced the sequel to Dishonored, and then one person was like, woo, and everyone was like, oh, right.
The best part about that was when they announced it today. They were like, "But first, here's a trailer from the first time we showed it." And I was like, "Wait, what?" And so they just started showing the trailer from last time.
We haven't talked about it much over the last year, so just a reminder.
Yeah.
Which?
But then they ended
Which-
up going into a lot of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it looks so good.
It does.
It looks so good.
It does.
Dishonored 2 looks fucking amazing.
Yep. Where to begin? How about the fact that you can play as a lady?
That's nice. Yeah.
Empress Emily Calder.
Now here's my
Calm
question:
down, killer.
have they confirmed yet or not? Whether are you playing each level? Is each specific level going to be
It
like?
seems,
Are you? Do they tell you when you switch to Emily, or do you choose?
No,
when you
it
play
seems
Emily?
like in the beginning of the game,
Yeah.
you pick to play either the Corvo or the Emily campaign.
Correct.
And then you play the whole game as that character.
Everyone here should start with Emily.
Oh, obviously.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Why would you not?
And then go back and play as Corvo.
Why? Why should we?
Because, well, first of all, Corvo's great and all, but like, it looks like most of his abilities are upgraded versions of what he already had. Which, by the way, I like, and that's in the sense that kind of makes it feel like kind of this natural progression.
Yeah,
the
like he's gotten better.
Like the
like,
character is still the character you know. He just
Yeah.
is better now.
Yeah.
But Emily is just pumped full of
brand new abilities.
abilities and shit, which is awesome.
Like her domino.
Dude,
Domino. looked
Domino.
cool.
That's
Oh,
pretty
cool.
sweet.
Domino looks like it's gonna be amazing.
That looks
The
like a
shadow.
So what-
completely
what happens
power.
if you link?
Shadow walk or whatever.
So what happens if you link a bunch of dudes together and then you push one off like a roof?
They all die.
Well, they all
They all
die.
die.
I don't
They-
think they all go
Yeah.
over the ledge with him, but they all
Oh,
die
man.
when he hits
Well, they
the
kind of
ground.
like they showed a couple of examples, and one of them was in like kind of like more of a cinematic thing, but she like stabbed a guy in the mouth, and then a bunch of people around who were linked all just fell down dead.
Yeah.
Because he died. So I mean, yeah, that's
But then she also like linked
just
a bunch
to
of people.
specify. Did we actually say what domino is like straight up?
We've talked about it before. We talked about it the podcast last
Well, yeah,
week.
but-
No,
just
I wasn't there.
Just to
Okay.
rehash it, it's an ability that she can link a bunch of enemies together, and whatever happens to one of them happens to all of them.
Yes.
And we had talked about how when they were talking about this new ability, they said in playtesting somebody figured out that you can even link it to another ability she has called Doppelganger, where she makes a clone of herself. So she linked a bunch of guards to her own clone, and then just like at her leisure killed the clone, and they all died.
Yeah.
Like so it's
cool.
pretty cool. And in the footage they showed, they did the one that you were talking about where they stabbed a dude in the mouth. They also did another one where she linked a bunch of guards and then
Set up a
hit
trap.
one of them with a stun grenade,
Yeah.
or like a stun mine, and then
Okay.
it stunned them all, so it didn't kill them. So you can there's still some use there, even if you're doing like a pacifist run.
Dude,
That's pretty cool.
It links the status more than
And she
like
has
the
what,
light.
what is her fucking like crawl
Shadow walk?
Shadow
Shadow
walk?
Yeah,
which
That
looks
seems
creepy
cool,
as fuck
right?
too when you use it because
Shit. Yeah.
It's some ring shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bring
Creeping a bit.
and then you can do that fucking shadow reach too to
Yeah.
like pull people and
people.
things closer to you. That's pretty neat.
I'm pretty excited for
and
it.
the world looks gorgeous.
Dude.
man.
Oh my god, that mission they showed though, where she's in the mansion with that
Yeah,
timepiece
the time
thing,
mechanic.
like
Yeah.
going back and forth between the past and the present.
So it's all
that-
singularity.
Looked
I'm-
crazy.
It looks really cool. I'm really interested to see how far they take that concept, like
Yeah.
as far as fleshing out an entire
Is it just
level.
in that mansion, or is
Yeah.
it more?
It seems like it's going to be a choice time.
It's like a.
Well, yeah, no, I don't think it's going to
I
be
bet-
every because that would be you'd essentially
Right.
be building the game twice.
Twice, yeah.
I bet
Which
it's
is ridiculous.
It's within the confines of that structure you can do it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's probably going to end up being like a Shadow World thing, like Guacamelee or something. where
Yeah.
there's obstacles in this world, but they're not in that world, or you can jump between the worlds to fight enemies. I don't know like how deep they're going to get with the whole time travel aspect of it, but we were talking about how cool that would be if like you could go back in time and make changes that kind of ripple through that affect the future and more than just like, oh, I flipped a switch here in the past and now it's open in the future.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I mean that would be really cool, but that would
Which
also
honestly
be,
doesn't even make any sense because you're telling me that no one else flipped that switch in the past.
Well, no. So
How
like,
would
what
we
you
know?
could do is you
would
just
have
have
to-
like
I
a locked
understand.
door that only has one key. You go in the past, find the key, hide it in like a vent or somewhere that no
Yeah.
one's gonna find it,
And
and
then
then
go
go
to the
find it in the
future
present
and-
time.
Like Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like Bill and
Like
Ted.
Bill and
After
Ted.
this, we'll hide the key under this rock here.
Yeah.
We gotta remember to go back and do that.
Well, I was watching that. I was kind of thinking too that I just know there's gonna be someone out there that's just really annoyed. Like, why don't I have my overpowered teleport and stuff like that? I think
Yeah.
it's a terrible section, but it's really good. It brings back the fact that underneath all those powers, there was a really capable stealth and combat system.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
without all the powers, you could just brawl your way through that game if you were really good and do it.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. And I'm really excited to see more. I'm hoping the game is playable on the show floor.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
I hope
yeah,
so.
it's
gotta
far
be.
enough along that like
It's
when
coming out November 11th.
Yep.
So
Oh
it's,
yeah.
It's Bethesda, of course. It's
Yeah.
11.
It could be one of those situations where they have the two levels, one of the past present level and one
Yeah.
of the powers level.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
It makes sense. I'm really curious to see how big the levels are because Dishonored 1 had big levels.
Yeah.
But I want to see how much bigger they are.
I agree.
November 11th is a Friday, actually.
That's fine.
Perfect.
Yeah,
There's
they
been a
do
lot
that
of
sometimes.
there's
Yeah.
been a lot of game releases on Friday. this year.
One
Yeah.
cool thing I thought, and this is something we had kind of talked about earlier in the day, is a lot of us aren't fans of pre-ordering games, but they did mention that if you pre-order Dishonored 2, you get Dishonored Definitive Edition, which I think is pretty fucking sweet.
that's a pretty good
That's a
deal.
good deal, yeah.
If that goes hand in hand with Amazon, which is already does like the 20% off, which that's awesome.
Yeah.
But hey, I don't know.
Yep.
Looks cool. We don't need to talk about the
Yep.
collector's
You get
edition.
20% off.
Collector's edition.
Comes
No,
with
we
four
don't,
of
need
those
to, we don't
masks.
need to talk
Yeah.
about it. Whatever. It's not
Pre-order.
big.
Are you doing?
Yeah.
Are you gonna do?
Oh, it comes with that really
If
sweet
it comes with a
poster,
picture of
too.
Delilah, he's gonna
Yeah,
get it.
Delilah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Delilah.
it's gotta laminate it first.
You know, fuck it. I'm doing it right here live on
Oh,
the feed.
good.
No,
Chris,
don't do it.
you've already
Wait, make
exposed
sure
yourself
the camera
once.
can see your credit card
Yeah.
number.
All right. Well, that's kind of the extent of what we saw today. So I think we can probably leave it at that. Tomorrow we're going to be seeing Microsoft in the morning, Ubisoft about midday, and then Sony in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll do another one of these podcasts. We'll cover that, and then of course Tuesday we'll see Nintendo in the morning and show floor the next 3 days.
Or so yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be cool. We have a lot of stuff. There's still a lot of stuff to come. I know.
Yeah, it's crazy that it's only been 1 day so
Yeah.
far. Like it feels like it's been so
it has
long.
the show hasn't even really started yet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there
Oh,
was one more low key announcement.
Yeah, there's a very low-key announcement. Dynasty Warriors announced the local game coming out that's combined with Berserk, much like Hyrule Warriors, only it's going to be insanely violent.
So I
You
assume
would love Berserk.
So I assume you
way.
would play as
Why
Guts.
does-
Wait,
What?
Berserk the anime?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Nick would like that.
You would love it.
Well, it's
don't think I
it's
just-
a really like
Some ultra violent.
dark, violent
Masochist.
anime, but it
But
also
with a good story.
It was also a heavy influence for Dark Souls too.
Yes.
All right. See that caught my attention more than the ultra violence. Thank you.
Yeah, you can find him.
I was talking about the
Netflix.
story. But yes, you will like it.
Cool. Well, that is
The
interesting.
dude's name is Guts. That's so cool.
Well, then, totally count me in. So yeah, we'll do that tomorrow. I'm sorry it was a little late and a little rocky getting started. We're traveling, and obviously we had to get everything set up. We'll try and get started a little bit early because we're not going to really break this setup down. So tomorrow, once we get back, we'll kind of
good
jump
to
right
go.
back into it. So yeah, is there anything else we want to talk about before we stop for the night? We have to get to bed kind of early because Microsoft is first thing in the fucking morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do that. If you're in the LA area, we're gonna be doing a community meetup on Thursday night at 7 p.m. So come hang out if you're in the area and you would like to. It looks like we're gonna meet up at a place called Button Mash. It's a little arcade/restaurant. So we'll hang out there.
Wait, it's called Butt and Mash.
Button
Butt
Mash.
and mash. It's
Yeah.
like
It's like bangers and mash.
yeah, it's like bangers and mash, but button mash.
Butt Mash. So you can check. There's details on the site at 4playernetwork.com. Also, if you'd like to tell us your thoughts about there's gonna be a lot of stuff happening tomorrow. We'll be able to tweet and whatnot throughout the day. But if you have any thoughts, tweet them at us using the hashtag 4PNE316, and we will probably have a chance to go over some of those during the podcast tomorrow. So look forward to that. And for now, I think that's it. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Anything else? Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We got to go to bed. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Peace out.
Bye.
Sleep tight.